Hi everyone, it's Cell here, and today I want to talk to you about the recent changes on the Holy Priest tree. So recently, Blizzard has gone ahead and they put out a patch changing some Holy Priest abilities and making new trees an option for Holy Priest. So before we dive right in and swim, I want to let you know, I am a former cutting edge healer. I mean Holy Priest, Disc Priest. I play Boomkin, Bear Tank, as well as Resto Druid, and my goal is typically to get my 20s of those two characters on those different specs, and then I'm done. I teach people on my stream how to run keys, and a big thing I hear from healers is that some people are afraid or intimidated to do these different builds. They don't want to do as much damage. They want to do more healing. And that's perfectly okay, and that's viable. There are guides out there that say this is your meta build, you run this, if you don't run this, you're bad. And to those, I'm gonna tell you, ignore them. Please, for all that's good in the world, ignore those guides. Yes, there are your meta builds, and those are great builds if you're somebody who is pushing content at the highest level possible and you're aiming to get like titles of Mythic Plus, you're cutting edge. Absolutely do what is best for you. But if you're someone that is struggling to do damage while healing, I'm hoping to give you some good alternatives into how I play. And I still manage to do anywhere from 20 to 50k damage overall. Something that's low, but I manage to get all my portals all the same every season. So I must be doing something right. So let's go in. So first, I want to talk to you about the raid build. I am currently only doing AOTC. I'm not running cutting edge content anymore. I'm just doing heroic and I'm raid leading. I'm running a Lightwell build, if you will. So as you see here, this is my raid talents and my raid abilities, and if you want, I can put them in the description so you can copy paste them into your priest if you like. I love Lightwell. I think Lightwell is a staple to Holy Priest. It hasn't been used a lot, but with the changes, I think that there's an option there. If you don't like Lightwell, you still have an option to run Restitution, which is a good ability, especially during Prog. If you're struggling on a mechanic, it kind of gives you a cheat death for that fight. But I like Lightwell. It's only a 2-minute cooldown. It's got a 40-yard range. It's a smart heal, and it feels nice to see it out there. So I run a pure, this is my build. We have a really good time with it. I don't run the mana regen. I find that I don't necessarily need as much mana regen. If you're struggling though with mana regen, there are things you could do. Like you could switch things around to give yourself a little bit of confidence. You could always adjust your tree to give you this. It's 1 point you could take out somewhere. Like you could take out the Gales if you wanted. You could try to backtrack through here, not run Lightwell, and you could run the mana instead. That would also be fine. But this is my standard raid build. Under the priest side, this ability, Void Shift, it is very niche, and it can be massive if you can save someone's life with it. But again, once you're out of Prog, you might not need it as often as you are going to use it during Prog. But this is a standard raid build. If you like it, I love that for you. If you don't like it, that's okay too, but there's flexibility. So let's talk Mythic Plus builds. I am a huge fan of running Essence Devour under the Priest talent side, so when you pop your Shadow Fiend, it's still going to heal a nearby injured ally. I like smart heals, especially if you're finding that you're kind of somewhere. It gives you a bit of a cushion to try to get your mana back while you're sending out your Shadow Fiend. I also choose to run Divine Star over Halo. I don't find that Halo's worth it because I'm not really standing back in Narnia to really benefit from it. Star is fast, it's 15 seconds, I can do some AoE damage and call it a day. But the main points are the Holy Priest tree. Something I like to run. I 110% love the ability Restitution, especially if I'm pugging into a key and I don't know what our group is like. What Restitution does is it gives me the ability, once I go into my spirit form, I get to come back to life and it doesn't count as a death. So this is my Mythic Plus build. Now you're looking at this thinking, wait a minute, Cell, I'm seeing that there's damage built in here, and I thought you said I could do keys without having to do all of this damage. And you're absolutely correct. You don't have to do. This is not a meta build. A lot of priests don't take Restitution. They don't take Desperate Times. And in fact, they're running this one, Pontifex, and they come down here and they're putting in a couple points into Resonant Words. So like you could go this way instead and only have to run your Divine Image. I don't like that. My healing is fine as is. I want to make sure I'm pumping. So I personally like running this build. This is my go-to. But I will say when I first was switching from my Moonkin into Holy Priest, and I haven't really played much Holy in a while, I didn't run this build the first few keys I did. I wanted to work on just my HPS to make sure my group was alive, because I don't want someone to die and then myself get blamed for it. Because you can do decent damage with this build with Holy Nova. You're not going to do as much because you're not running the Holy Fire tree, but like you could just as easily say, oh, just kidding, I don't want that. Oh, I don't want that either. In fact, I'm scared. I'm going to run Prayer of Healing. And, you know, I feel like maybe I need more. And you want to run Circle of Healing. You can still pull that off, giving you more AoE options to keep your groups up. I found that when I was running this, I wasn't really needing to use Circle of Healing. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm not using Circle of Healing, I might as well run the Real Blaze. It's a passive ability, and it's going to do more damage for me anyway. So that's fine. Okay, then I was like, Prayer of Healing makes me scared to not have it because that's my group heal. But the fact is, if you're running keys and you're running dungeons, you're more often than not going to be in a pretty close proximity. You've got Holy Word Sanctify. You don't really need another big AoE heal, and you have 2 charges. So it might be scary to drop your Prayer of Healing, but that's what I did, and I threw it over here just to give a little bit more damage in my builds. So like I feel really confident with this build. I've pugged keys, I've done 20s, I've done 21s, I got my portals done, and it's a lot of healing. Like I'm sure you'll be healing, oh my god, you're doing so much healing, and that's fine. But like if you're nervous of death, or you're nervous of cooldowns, or whatever your fear is, running this Restitution will give you some confidence. And once your confidence is there, like you can move talents around this tree. I've even tried doing a key where I ran Lightwell. But please don't run Lightwell in your keys. That's really not worth it. But you can. Like, that is the one good thing I'm really enjoying about Holy Priest, is the fact that you're able to move your spells around, do content, like up to 20s, and you're doing it fine. A big complaint I hear about Priest or running Holy Priest is that a lot of players lack that confidence. And I'm here to tell you, if you're running a build that gives you a cheat death and you can still do a lot of healing with it, it will help build your confidence, especially in pugs. Keep Prayer of Bending off cooldown, throw your AoE heals out there, keep your dots up in big pulls, throw that Holy Fire down, throw some Holy Novas out there, but like have fun with the spec you're playing. Don't be worried about your damage off the bat. Like, just don't. I think that is what scares a lot of healers that don't like doing damage, is that they feel if they don't do enough damage in a Mythic Plus, they're going to get called out, they're going to get ripped apart. And the fact is, if you don't do any damage, that might happen. The community can be a little toxic. But if you're doing like 20k-ish overall damage, no one's going to say anything to you. I run 20s all the time. I am always doing keys in different regards, and I've never had someone be like, oh my god, your damage is so low you're only doing 20k damage or 30k damage. They don't care. They're alive. The key's time. They're vibing. You're bringing them their PI. They're happy. They're happy. They're happy as clams, some might say. So unless you're pushing for a title or that top like plus 28s, don't freak out over your builds and play builds that you feel comfortable with. Play around with it. If you want Prayer of Healing, take it. Take it. If you want to run Circle of Healing as well, take it. I will tell you that you'll eventually feel like you've got too many spells then and almost have like bloat in your keybinds, because you shouldn't need it as much. But like, don't be afraid to experiment around with your build and what you think is like going to make you a better player, because Holy Priest has a lot of flexibility and it's a lot of fun to play. If you like this little tip, this little guide on what my thoughts are on Holy Priest with the changes, feel free to like, subscribe to me. We're trying to get partnered on YouTube and make some memories. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Be safe, be smart, wash your hands. Don't forget, wash your damn assholes. Bye for now.